Hello again, and welcome to episode 2 of the Rusty Quill Gaming Podcast. My name's Alex Newall. I'm going to be your host and GM, and with me today are...
Jake Frost, Bryn Monroe,
Ben Meredith,
Lydia Nicholas.
And we're picking up where we left off, so just going around the table, people quickly describe your characters for everyone so we can remember who everyone is.
I'm Sir Bertrand Bertie MacGuffingham, a posh rich show-off who likes hitting things.
My name is Hamid. I am a halfling sorcerer and something of a playboy.
I'm playing Zolf. He's a cleric of Poseidon, an ex-sailor and pirate.
I'm playing Sasha. She is a slightly awkward ex-antique valuer who moves suspiciously silently and good at stabbing for someone that spent a life in an office.
Okay, cool. And
Antique valuer.
I don't know what the word is.
Appraiser.
Appraiser. I actually wrote that down and everything.
That's an excellent euphemism.
I value antiques.
Yes.
I might value other people's antiques and maybe suggest some prices that might happen.
I just give you a number, I don't ask questions.
It's a game to me. You know?
How much are that? These antiques worth 12. It's fine.
honestly, it's
Bargain hunt should be
Pathfinder.
great.
Things could just be 12. Like, you could just accept 12. Okay, so last week we had Zolf running his interviews. We had
Yes.
Sasha getting followed. We had Hamid blowing a lot of money in a casino. And we had Bertie having lots of people walk into him and then him going, "Oh, hello, a person." Long story short, we ended up in an alleyway, and there are a large number of people who are stable, thanks to Zolf, but covered in blood. There's lots of fake blood all around the place, with Hamid having recognised Bertie.
I maintain that was an excellent plan. It just didn't quite go right.
I still think if you'd have made your bluff check, I'd have let you get away with that, but it wasn't happening.
The dice were not on my side.
Okay, so we'll pick up from the last person hits the floor. I believe he was icicled. Zolf's just gone round and he's stabilised people. There is a crowd of people looking, and there are guards who are still sort of fighting to get through that crowd and just find out what's happening.
Bertie, what's going on?
Well, you see, we were assaulted in an alleyway by these very rude gentlemen, and so this happened.
Exactly. So we're doing crowd control. So we control the crowd.
As you can see, this crowd is very much under control at this
Yes.
point. Look, they're very sedate.
They all saw you bisect this poor gentleman.
He started it.
Nothing to see here. Just someone help me, please. Your everyday crowd control.
He's
Someone,
dead!
please. No,
He's killed him!
Not dead. I should know
He's
that.
resting.
Good,
Well, no, he's-
good rehearsing the show,
No,
guys.
we're crowd controllers.
No,
That's actually
no.
what we've been hired to do. Oh, sorry. We've actually been hired to be crowd controllers.
Oh.
Join in and might not get arrested.
Okay, yeah, controlling was great.
I saw her
Good
shank
control.
that guy!
Yes, and he was resisting being controlled.
It was a controlled shank.
Exactly.
He's fine now.
At which point, the guards basically start working their way through. One of them sort of comes over and just goes to Zolf first. What the hell's going on? I mean, what?
Oh, there was a rowdy section of the crowd, and they attempted to mug some people. So we had to control them. They resisted, not arrest, but being controlled. So we had to put them down. They're all fine.
What, with the blood?
Yeah, but they're all fine.
What? At which point, a taller, very, very well-built man walks up behind him and just taps him on. Greg, go on, mate. Just go make yourself busy. Guy comes in. He's got big mutton chops. Big mutton chops. Very greyed. He's got quite a tall helmet. It's kind of reminiscent of the modern London, the touristy helmets they have. The real.
Oh, the beaver skin.
Yeah, like the.
Bear skin.
Bear skins. That's it.
I'm thinking more the ones that are.
Don't policeman's helmet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Bobby helmet.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Bobby helmet. It's still clearly steel because he's a city guard. He's got a steel cuirass on. He's got a few scars on him. and Zolf knows him as basically his contact who got him the work in the first place.
Whose name is?
Whose name is Sergeant Richard Haringey.
Oh, Sergeant, nice to see you.
What have you done, Zolf? I'm looking here, and what I'm seeing is a crowd that are now 2 crowds. I've got a crowd that I've got to be dealing with that you're meant to be helping me with. And I've also got this.
Well, there was a particularly rowdy section of the crowd, but we had to stop being so rowdy.
You didn't kill them, did you, Zolf?
What? No, none of them are dead.
Not a blood round for people who aren't dead.
Yes, maybe the methods that we used. Look, this is Bertie, he's new.
Hello.
Alright.
Delighted to meet you, and hearty handshake and slap on the shoulder. Well then, young man. Well, we've got quite the situation here, but it's all settled now. Don't worry about it. Yep. Totally sorted.
Bertie, this is Sergeant Haringey. He's our contact and our boss. Really. So, yes, but this is, Bertie, and he, well, as you can see, is quite impressive.
Sir Bertrand, Bertie MacGuffingham. Pleasure to meet you. Lovely. Hello. Yes.
Mainly chosen for intimidation tactics.
Right. It's
Unfortunately-
clearly that Sergeant Haringey is he's just accepting this, but he's just eyeing Bertie up, down, with the glowing pauldrons and the eagles and the lighting eyes still above the
Super
helmet.
clam.
Right, you do know that you're responsible for him then. Like, I'm not touching that with
No,
him.
he's part of my group.
Oh, right, fine.
I'm going to turn to the crowd and, rather than trying to persuade them that nothing happened, simply say, the guards have it under control now, but best to move along, nothing more to see.
What do you mean nothing more to see? There's blood everywhere, it's great!
It's
Loads of things to see. It's very impressive. Look what we did.
Who's the guy with the armour?
You're not helping.
Bertie.
Oh, this. Well, let me facilitate some introductions.
Best to let the guards just deal with it. They'll clear everything up. Best to get back to the big show, that you were all heading to before. I'm going to attempt to roll diplomacy to actually get
Sure.
some of the crowd
Convince
to
people to
disperse.
disperse.
I think that's a 15.
What'd you roll?
I rolled
Always
an 8,
say what you rolled first, so you rolled an 8.
which 15.
15?
No, 16.
Okay, 16. The crowd start beginning to disperse. It helps that the guards are doing their job. Haringey just kind of takes a look, goes, this doesn't say anything, it's clear that he thinks this is going to take a bit of figuring out.
Probably lots of paperwork.
Yeah, and he starts sort of ordering the guards to start ushering people away. As he
I'm
does...
just going to help them with that.
Sure. As he does, a man with a 1,000-yard stare and a big trench coat comes down the main street, and he comes wielding what looks like a quarterstaff he may have had secreted about his person earlier. And he just rocks up going, sorry about that, I was checking the perimeter.
Sense motive?
Also sense motive.
So to spell out for any listeners, sense motive being what it says on the tin, it's trying to figure out if someone's lying to you and stuff like that.
16 for me.
I'm not very good at sense motive, but I did roll a natural 20.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's
so-
a critical success? Do you know his life story? How does that work?
So with my massive bonus, that is a total of 20.
Okay, well, thankfully you rolled quite high, and it becomes quite apparent that this guy's just lying through his teeth. He gives the impression of someone who's normally quite good at lying, and just has not done a particularly good job this time. And yeah, you as well, Zolf, are quite aware of what's going on.
Figgis,
Yeah.
have you, can I just quickly... What's your, payment for this job?
Oh, well, we were talking about the 50-50 split. Obviously, that was going to drop to a 30, what with Bertie.
It's back up to a 50. It's nice, because you're fired.
Oh, well, it's a bit steep. I mean, I'd got an escape route all set and cleared the way so that if it went south and...
Bertie attempts to pick Figgis up by the neck and hold him against the wall.
You know what? Give me a strength roll.
Okay.
It'll just be a d20 plus your...
7 plus 3, I think is my modifier.
Okay, I happen to know how much this character weighs, so yeah, you managed to pick him up. It looks like he may be wearing some clothing to bulk out his physique a little bit on top of everything else. Lots of, like, there's puffy fake muscle undercoats you can get and stuff.
What, like a Spider-Man costume?
Yeah, totally. You quite easily pick him up, he's just there going, oh, look, I could kill you. I don't want to, but I will.
Figures.
I've got 16 ways that I could take your arm out right
You
now.
bloody little coward! And I give him a shake.
Let's not make another scene. We've already had one of those. You foray, go away.
It's ridiculous. Oh, put me down. Put me down right now.
What was he doing while
Nothing.
the rest of you were...
Nothing. And that's the firing bit.
I don't think he was doing nothing. I certainly don't think he was helping.
Oh, well.
From the sense motive, you got the impression that he was not necessarily robbing the place, but certainly fleeing and paying a lot of attention to everything around. He just seemed like bad news, as far as you can tell from sense motive. He wiggles his way free from Bertie's grasp, lands on the ground. Well, you know, I
Go away.
and he just stomps off into the crowd, pushing people out of his way, who push him back, and he stumbles. He's clearly all talk and nothing else.
So, looks like we're down one. So, what was her name?
Sasha.
Do you want to join up? You seem quite good in a fight. You might need some protection from those guys.
Yeah. Did you say that you were sticking around here though?
Crowd control.
Right. Is it based here? Or do you do crowd control in like other places
No, it's
sometimes?
mercenary company.
Right.
This was just the job that we got. Like, could be anything.
Okay.
That's how we know.
So you're working as a mercenary now, Bertie?
Mercenary, yes. Money, glory, fame, fortune, distant places.
I like the distant places.
Interesting.
Distant places?
Yeah.
I mean, we can have a look at the jobs we got. And your name is?
Hamid.
Zolf, nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
We shake hands.
Audio podcasts when everyone remembers that no one can see.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, you seem reasonably handy in the whole talking to people things, and, well, I'm not.
I'm brilliant with people, very much a people person. You give me a person, we'll get on like a house on fire. There'll be screaming, but it'll be friendly screaming.
Might make a good...
Bertie was very popular at school. He always had loads of friends.
So,
At university, which is where we met.
Flawless recovery there.
we do need a face. Would be useful. So 25 each way. Trial period.
I'm certainly looking for some work and potentially some adventure.
Brilliant. Bertie, you can vouch for him.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Fine.
I believe that's a 30% pay rise by my calculations.
Are you okay?
I mean, thanks for having my back there, guys. That
All right.
was, yeah.
Didn't seem very fair odds.
No, looks like it might be fairer, so stuck around.
Cool. All right.
These guys aren't dead then?
No.
I was sure that one was dead after what you did to him.
He's all right.
It looked quite split in two.
Yes. No, he's fine. He's fine.
He got better.
He did get better.
You hear what could be a groan from the person you're discussing. It's kind of hard to tell. It might be just
Should we
bubbling
find
with
out
stuff.
what these guys were up to? Why would they attacking you?
I think it's fine. I don't think that we need to know what they were up to at all. I think we should just maybe just go.
Sense motive?
Be fine if we just left. I don't think that.
Is the role necessary?
15.
Plus your modifier off.
Zero. Still?
15. Okay, technically, just to spell out for audience, the use of the diplomacy rolls when it comes to
That was a
character
sense,
stuff.
sense motive.
Sure, I'm talking diplomacy, sense motive, bluff, all of those.
Oh, yeah.
It gets a little bit fuzzy. I tend to deter people from doing too many rolls and counter rolls because you can end up with bluff, sense motive, bluff, sense motive, bluff, sense motive. So I try to kind of deter it. What I'll also do is that if you do a roll and it's about another player character rather than giving you specific facts, I'll give you a gut instinct on it and nothing more. It's just so I can encourage you guys to role play more. So with that in mind, yeah, I'll get 15. Technically, you know what? Let's set a good precedent.
Shall
Roll
I have
a
bluff
d20 for a bluff roll.
Yeah. Sorry, microphone.
That's some good roleplay foley.
11 plus 3, 14.
14 versus the 15 is... There is a falsehood at play. That's how much you beat that by.
Yeah.
Fine, I don't think we need to know anything. My charisma remains very low.
I was going to say, you're taking -1, aren't you?
Yeah, the fact that you can't tell what I'm lying about doesn't mean that I'm very good at lying.
I don't think it would be good to start a new relationship with
Let's keep things simple.
equivocation.
Have you done a murder?
Who's done a murder?
Not until today, but you healed him.
Haringey comes up and he stands and he's not interfering, he's just standing there, kind of arms folded, leaning against the wall, giving the impression of someone who has all the time in the world. Despite an enormous crowd and event happening, he's got all the time in the world to listen to you guys talk.
I wasn't lying when I said before I had employment with some people that wanted me to continue in their employment, and I don't want to do that job anymore. But I wasn't. It wasn't that I.
You need an out. Yeah, that's fine.
I never heard.
That seems fair enough.
Yeah. Fine. Don't ask, don't tell.
Gregson, is that you? Haringey sort of goes over, kneels down and looks over the one that you think you bisected but didn't. He is still alive. Oh, Gregson, that's what, 2 weeks since you went... Oh, Gregson. Starts patting him down. Just looks to Sasha. Racket.
That sounds like a name that someone like that might have.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that sounds like you've got a very good life choice ahead of you. Trying to distance yourself from people that you've clearly never met, that right?
Why would I want to get to know these people at all, given that
good call.
first time I met them, they tried to kill me?
Haringey sort of is patting down one of them, pulls out a sheaf of paper and starts reading it. Does the name Brock mean anything to anyone?
Quite a nice name, but other than that, no.
I think maybe.
I mean, it sounds like an interesting name. Maybe there'd be a story that you might want to tell us.
So hypothetically, if someone here who I reckon's actually, been trying to help, wanted to know more about Brock, they'd be looking at this piece of paper that I'm holding up here. He holds it up in front of Sasha, just kind of idly whilst looking away. It basically just has Teller will let her know about Brock on a piece of paper. It's scrawled. It's clearly like a piece of charcoal on parchment or something.
I think you were right about asking them about. They look like interesting people. Maybe they'd be fun to talk to for a while. Since you healed them, they might just talk about.
So maybe we need to find out exactly why they were causing a ruckus and creating a problem in our nice, lovely, calm crowd.
I mean, not exactly what they were doing, but just a bit more about their background would be interesting. They might just have some fun things to say.
They're probably not going to be getting up for a while, so we should probably put them in a nice big heap.
Bertie starts dragging them
Put them behind the box.
Stacking them behind the box.
Do we not have somewhere we could go out of the way? A room in a building?
Well,
rather than doing this in an alley?
We are still supposed to be patrolling the crowd.
Yes.
Well, I think we still got a fair few minutes before those carriages make it through to the gates. I'll be needing your help then, but I've got a few minutes to kill, and I'm noticing an open doorway there, which your ever so helpful colleague. Good pick there, Zolf.
Nice.
You always did have an eye for people.
Well, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we go?
You're all right. Haringey reaches down, sort of picks up one of the guards, starts dragging him through into that doorway that's open. It seems to lead to just a store. Looks like it's storing rolls of bolts of cloth. So just big long reams of it, just in crates. And he drags one of them, puts the
grab one and stump over.
I do not carry a body.
Neither do I.
That is twice as big as me.
Two more. There's two more. I pick up both of them and drag them along.
Sure. They're sort of three of them just are kind of coming to a little bit. Haringey is just reaching down, pulling bits of like scrap cloth, tying them up as they start coming around, and then the one who was referred to as Thompson kind of.
Oh, God. I'm stay out of his eye line for now.
Yeah.
Is Thompson the one that I nutted?
Yeah, there's not much left of his
Okay.
face.
Okay. And he's just coming to.
He's just coming to.
Okay, so Bertie leans in, and with his falcon eyes flashing quite brightly. Hello! Wakey, wakey, hello. Mr. What was his name?
Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, is it? Hello! Welcome! And slaps him a little bit, lightly, but I am wearing big metal gloves.
What I'd say is you were asking about, last week you were asking about intimidate checks
Yeah.
in combat. Not so great. Intimidate checks out of combat.
Okay.
Actually really, really useful.
I'm going to attempt to intimidate him. 15 plus 1.
So, total of 16?
Yeah.
Let's do a counter roll
We
for
can
him.
maths.
I've got to get my dice as well now. Counter roll is... abysmal! That was a 2 for anyone who's listening. Okay, yeah, you basically leaning in with your menacing eyes, and he just looks at you and goes, I'm really sorry. I didn't start the fight. I don't know what you want. I was just here.
I'd sneak behind you and whisper, ask him about Brock.
So this Brock fellow,
How do you know? You know Brock?
I'm a very wise man.
Okay. We're just here to deliver a message to the girl. That was it. Honestly. Nothing else, I promise.
When you say deliver a message,
Oh,
is that a
an
euphemism?
like an actual message. What, with words and everything?
Do you want to do that then?
She's not here, is she?
I'd step out, but I'm still behind Bertie. Like, my head peeks
She's
out.
over there. I'll pass it on. I have a lovely speaking voice.
Yeah, the guy, whilst not breaking eye contact from Bertie at any point, just sort of goes, yeah, it's, Barrett just said, he's sure that you'll want to talk to him, and, he's got some info for Brock that he thinks that you'd like to know, Sasha?
You needed how many people to just tell me that?
It is a very heavy message.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean...
You're just going to tell me that and leave me be to decide to come with you.
Yeah? Yes. Yeah. I mean, you ran.
He's got an honest face.
From what you
I
can...
frown heavily.
I'm going to be honest, it's kind of hard. His nose is spread quite wide at this point. In fact, it'd probably make it harder for you to tell if he's lying or not. It's like he's wearing a mask.
If I went for another intimidate check, could I get more information out of him? Or are we
No,
done
it
with
doesn't
that
really
now?
work like that.
Okay.
I'm factoring it in now for all of
Okay.
his conversation.
So, since you were going to let me decide where to go and meet Barrett, what directions were you going to give me?
Honestly, he just said... honestly, we were just delivering a message. He just figured that you'd make yourself hard to find. It's just basically head back to where it all started.
Well, I've got a job now, so I guess I'll have to work out with them when I can get some...
Well,
we do have quite a reasonable holiday package.
Ooh.
Well, we've paid up the stairkeeper, so that you can get down, to other London, like no problems. But honestly, that's it. Like, I don't actually want trouble. We didn't pick a fight. He nutted me. I literally just said I wanted a conversation. Kinda.
What is that?
That's blood, and
that's blood.
Sniffing.
Ah.
Yeah, because you guys have always been so gentle in the past. Right, well, didn't we have some crowd control to be getting on with?
We did. Tell you what, because he's been so helpful, I might help him to put his nose back together. So if you give me 5 minutes, this might hurt a bit, but it shouldn't scar too badly.
Okay. What do you guys do after?
Well, I'd like to be healed first because I'm down to 9 hit points from 13. So I think in the nicest possible way.
You're still mostly fine.
Yeah, well, fine, but I would like to be fine rather than just mostly fine.
How does Bertie broach that subject with?
I was going to say roleplay it.
Oh, all right, fine. Hang on. So, I mean, this chap, his face wasn't that great to start with, and frankly, slightly higher up the queue. Hello, scratches. I've got a graze. I'm nearly sad. Heal me.
All right. Tell you what, we'll do a job lot. Now, quick question. How does mundane healing work in the system? Because I know obviously I can do magic and...
Sure. With mundane healing, tell you what, we'll look up everything that it covers, but as a rule of thumb, mundane healing is really good for stabilising and a pittance, basically, of hit points, isn't it? Off the top of my head?
I mean, you recover some hit points naturally, and I think mundane healing doubles that, but it requires long-term care. Like you can't give them back instantly. You can just help the base recovery rate.
Yeah, the way that they cover first aid is that it's stabilising you so that you're no longer going to literally die from your stuff, but then you get carried, you lay up, and let's say that I think you recover...
So you level every night?
I think? It's pretty much that. And the way, if you're being tended to with palliative care,
triples,
it goes to... There's layers to it. I'll look it up now briefly, but honestly, for the kind of stuff that you're talking about now, it's not
going to do much.
What you want.
In which case, so this is more superficial to try and save his nose. You seem pretty fine, sort of in body. I can give you. Hey, you're an impressive looking guy.
Look, I've had almost a Chinese burn. Look at this.
Bertie, stop whining.
Is he always like this?
Yes.
Given Zolf's history of choosing his colleagues, I'd have to go ahead and say, yeah, most of them do tend to be like this.
Shut it, you.
Hey. Boss. Sergeant Arengay. He's a good guy, so...
I'm a good guy with the keys to all of the cells. That's me.
Anyway, yeah, so I only met him this morning, so I don't really know. But,
just to chip in, having looked at heal, it's an enormously complex thing, and no, it doesn't give you immediate hit point.
Fine,
repeat.
That's cool. But yeah, so basically I'm going to put his nose back together and see if I can bind it up so that it will heal
Zolf,
the correct shape.
You got about 5 minutes.
That should be fine, just might hurt a bit.
I'm going to be honest, if these guys are still here in 5 minutes, I'm going to have someone take them away. If they're not, that's fine. But I'm going to need you guys out in about 5.
Sure.
He steps out through the door, onto the alleyway.
Cool. I will move up to the bloke in the chair and get out like a little sort of first aid kind of kit, bandages, and and get to work on putting his nose back together.
Sure.
And binding it up.
And what do the rest of you do?
Are there horrendous screams?
I don't know. It depends how well he does and how well I do.
I was going to say, give me a heal check.
That is still 12, I think. Yeah, 12.
Okay, and what does everyone else do while this is happening before I tell you?
I'm stepping out into the alleyway. I don't want to be in this room with those people anymore. I'll try and grab that note.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, although, did the policeman take it?
Haringey. Haringey
guess I don't.
has it, I'm afraid. In fact, he's leaning against that crate in the alleyway.
Yeah.
He's clearly lit up a quick smoke, and he's examining it, holding it up against the light, sort of examining the paper and just giving it a once over.
Right, so I guess I go out and stand awkwardly, which is the only way I know how to stand.
Sure.
Not approaching him.
He seems quite aware of that and is quite happy to just let you stand awkwardly whilst he examines the thing you're after.
I'll probably just have a chat with Bertie and we can just catch up so that we can...
So you guys step out.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to roleplay through that because it's stuff we've talked about.
Sure. It's basically, where have you been? Oh, I did this. Yeah. And meanwhile, basically, while all of you go out there, the first thing that you guys hear as you're mid-conversation is a...
Oh, shut up.
And yeah, eventually, Zolf, you finished patching him up. It is patching him up.
Wiping the blood off my hands. Just with a little
your beard.
Pouch. No. Although I could put dusters on the end of them.
You'll notice, despite the fact that during the fight I was spraying fake blood everywhere, I now look immaculate.
Prestidigitation. Gotta love it. Presumably you head out into the alleyway then.
I cast it any time I wink at someone so I can get my teeth to glint.
Hey.
Okay, well, just before we head into the next phase then, I think we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll get back to the action in a couple of minutes. Hi guys, Alex here. Normally we'd put an ad break at this point letting you know about new developments at Rusty Quill, mention sponsors, or just recommend other shows that we think you'd enjoy. But today, we just want to take the time to thank you. It takes a lot of time and effort and money to make podcasts like this, and it means a lot to us that you've decided to listen, so thank you. You're awesome. In fact, you are so awesome that we want to keep making great content for you and introduce you to loads of new shows, but in order to do that, we need your help. The more listeners that we get, the more content we can make. It's as simple as that, and the best way that we can get listeners is by word of mouth. In the credits at the end of the episode, we include details about how you can get involved online, but honestly, the best way that you can help us is by recommending us to people that you know. Tell a friend, tell a co-worker, tell your pet iguana. If just one of the people or lizards that you talk to subscribes, that's going to be a huge help to us. We're looking forward to making loads more content for you in the future, and we want to share it with everyone that you care about. So thanks again for getting involved, and we hope we get to meet you, your friends, and all your lizards real soon. Well, that's everything for now, so sit back, relax, and let's get back to the show. Hi and welcome back. So, you guys are in the alleyway. Haringey folds up that parchment, sort of pokes his head out, looks into the main crowd, which is quite large. You can hear it's getting louder by this point. Pokes his head back in and goes, "Right, lads, and lady, apologies. The carriages are just coming in. I could do with you guys on the gate. I'm not expecting any trouble, but you guys at least seem to be able to handle yourselves. And that one can at least talk his way out of trouble."
I look very worried.
But, shouldn't be any trouble. Everyone good?
Yeah, excellent.
He stubs out his cigarette and steps out into the alleyway and then starts working his way through the crowd. You get, as you pass through the drunken dancers, the ones who were fighting to have a look at the fight earlier, they're all giving a cheer and patting Sasha on her back. Sasha specifically, lots of people going, "Oh, good to see someone handle themselves." "Oh, yeah." Just basically drawing a bit more attention in.
Awkwardly do not respond in any smart or clever way. Yeah, just awkwardly stumble through. Lots of small nods and looking away and trying to hide behind Bertie.
Sure.
Make way, everyone. Heroes coming through. Steady as you go.
You guys make it to the main gates, the wrought iron, and yet the carriages are just drawing in here now. I will let you make a knowledge and ability check, Bertie, to start recognising the event.
So very quickly, when we get there, I'll quickly try and grab these guys and do a quick kind of tactics thing.
Oh, sure. Work that in now.
Yeah. So I'm thinking basically me and you, Bertie, will be up the front, keeping people away, probably the bulkiest. Hamid, if you stay with... just stay kind of a bit back, talk down anyone who gets a bit leery, and Sasha, maybe keep an eye out for troublemakers and point them out, and I think that will make it pretty good.
Sure, I can deal with anyone that gets...
Non-lethally, and I don't want to have to patch everybody up who tries to get through. So if you...
I have a really baffled expression. Right.
We're just keeping the peace, we're not...
Yeah.
We should get you a... Do you just have knives?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any knives.
We'll get you a sap.
Zolf, what you doing?
Yeah, we're having a quick, that's fine. We're good.
Cool. What was the result of your ability check?
I got 2, plus my bonus... my bonus is 7.
So that's a total of 9.
Yeah, total of 9.
Okay, first carriage rocks up. You recognise it has a meritocratic symbol on it. So sort of governmental. You don't really know who. I would say it sort of pulls up near and you guys are holding everyone back, and your tactics seem to be working. Basically the big heavy ones, Zolf and Bertie, are keeping the crowd back.
I'm probably standing on something so people can actually see me.
Sure. What kind of things are you telling people to keep them calm and stop them pushing?
Don't worry, everyone will get a turn. You'll all be able to see something. There's no need to push. I'm just babbling, sort of reassuring.
Blathering.
What's the word? Platitudes. That is the word. Okay.
And Sasha, when people get through, how are you getting them back on the far side of these guys?
Wait, I'm a bit confused about.
So
Can we move the little figures so I can see what's actually
So
going
we've
on?
got Bertie and Zolf taking sort of a front line.
Yeah, and this is a big
That's
corridor.
me, isn't it? So, yeah,
So I'm standing on something just behind me.
So you guys are now at some gates, so we'll draw the gates on here. So we've got the gates here. There are a few guards who are dotted around, sort of keeping a line, with Haringey in the middle there, between Zolf and Bertie. And we've got Hamid will say we found a box for him or something to stand on, and he's calling out over everyone. So occasionally people will break through that line. They're not being violent or anything, they're just really trying to get close to the carriages and stuff, because the carriages are just coming
sort
up
of
here now.
overexcited.
Yeah, so the carriages are just drawing near that line. You're just trying to keep that gate clear.
Yeah, so I probably would be overreacting if people try and practically get back.
You might be better off in the crowd, just tripping them up as they try to run forwards.
That is pretty much what my skill set is good for.
Go for it, like it's totally doable.
Yeah, but that's also something that I probably wouldn't do. I'd stand thinking I was being helpful.
Okay.
Like, no, get back. It's not for you. thinking I was being helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Because as well, these aren't aggressive people,
No,
are they?
they're not.
No.
It's just a big crowd.
I could hurt them, but I don't want to.
Oh, you see that? That's personal growth, right? Okay. The first carriage draws near. It has a state symbol on. Haringey starts giving out orders to the guards. They start pushing that crowd back out of the way a bit so that carriage can come through. The main gate's open. Carriage comes through. There's a what looks like a stateswoman of some kind. She's wearing a suit. She sort of twitches a curtain aside, has a look, and then it closes again.
Can I attempt to recognise her specifically as opposed to the carriage?
I'll allow that, yeah.
Knowledge and ability?
That's the one.
17 plus 7 is 24.
It's the Deputy Prime Minister.
Okay.
Are we now split as the carriages come through our line?
Does Bertie know the Deputy Prime Minister?
Not personally, no. Your minor ability as opposed to major ability or anything like that. Eventually then behind that and keeping pace with it on foot is it's a guy wearing large amounts of sort of regalia, statesman regalia, stuff like that. Zolf recognised him just on sight as the chief of police. He's clearly making a point of walking alongside looking like he's keeping it together when actually he's got people doing the muscle work around him. After that is another carriage comes along with some kind of female general on, none of you recognise. Then a third carriage, it looks like there's a whole train of them. The third one you hear, basically there's some kind of conversation going on inside that's quite loud and blathering. Say what you want, I'm telling you that, the guy's genius. The guy's actually a genius, and the amount of times that genius makes genius is genius, you know? Which you do recognise the voice of.
Okay.
It will be, I'm afraid, Lord Wellington. A guy that you have encountered in a social encounter.
Wellington!
Do you actually call it out?
I call it out. Wellington!
Bertie!
Wellington!
Bertie!
Wellington!
Bertie!
Wellington!
He opens the door and steps down. Bertie!
Wellington!
What are you wearing, Bertie?
This, I just threw this on, you know.
Bertie! Well, oh my God, Chessington, you won't believe who it's Bertie. It's actually Bertie.
Is that Chessington?
Bertie!
Chessington!
Bertie!
Chessington!
Oh, Bertie!
Chessington!
Chessington comes down. So Chessington's a big, rotund man. Like he's got a bit of a limp to him, which is screaming gout. Wellington, he's a bit more svelte individual. He's got a monocle, big walrus mustache. But it's a little enlarged, proper pairing. Wellington's like, oh my, Bertie, what are you doing out here? Honestly, look around you. Did you leave your carriage or something?
Oh yeah, I just, you leave it double parked and then bloody red tape, and I tried, but no, they won't be having any of it.
Oh, so... this is daft. There's space for you in here. I want to say, herring. He's pointing at Haringey. Yeah. Well, let them in, Oh, Wellington, all of these with you, Bertie?
Oh, yes. This is my entourage.
Oh, of course. Hello, entourage.
I,
Pleased to meet you.
yeah, pleased to do that.
They're not big talkers, Bertie.
Oh, how I prefer them, you know. It's very difficult to get completely silent help these days. But, you know, I find muted, shy and deferential will do just as well.
Chessington.
I start laughing.
Yeah, Chessington just hears, just like, Bertie, I'd rather them quiet than loud. Anyway.
Turn to Haringey, and kind of shrug at him, and they kind of thumbs up, thumbs down, and is this...
Haringey just gives a wearied shrug, going, he leans into Zolf specifically and goes, just do me a favour and keep an eye on things inside. And yeah, the carriage starts moving. Wellington insists on getting back in the carriage and pulling Bertie in with him. He holds the door open for everyone else if they want to get in. It'll be a squeeze.
I do.
I will get in because rather ride than walk.
Sure.
Yeah, I realise I've been left and look around slightly panicked for any more violent stalkers and instead jump in.
Sure.
It's I assume it's like Tube and Rush Hour in there right now.
Oh yeah, at this point we've got Bertie, we've got Wellington and Chessington are sort of sat. Chessington being so large that Wellington's a bit scrunched up already. On the far side, we've got Bertie in full plate armour.
How does the suspension deal with this?
I was going to say, there's a certain scraping going on. Now we've got Zolf and Hamid who are pretty much having to stand in the space between. So you could probably fit in, but it is, Tube at Rush Hour.
I mean, I do have quite high acrobatic skills.
I don't take up much space.
I hold the
I'm
door
pretty
open.
small, yeah.
Come on in, young lady.
I turn myself into a strange shape that fits the available space like
Tetris.
water
Is there
a
in
stat
a
for
puddle.
Tetris?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll introduce myself because I'm not scared of nobility because I'm just as poncy and
Sure.
stuff as they are.
So the door,
I don't move in
the door
English
closes
circles,
and you
but-
the carriage starts moving up and
Yeah.
Wellington leads you across. I like your valet. He's got excellent suit.
Oh, no, this isn't my valet. This is an old university friend of mine. This is, let me facilitate some introductions. This is Hamid Saleh Haroun al-Tahan.
You might know my father. Works out of Cairo.
The Cairo Terrans.
Yes.
Oh, how are they doing?
Oh, very well. Yes, the whole family. Yes.
Oh,
things are good. A pleasure to meet you.
Oh, and yourself. I do need to make another transfer. Actually, I may get some contact details from you.
Oh, of course. Yes, happy to help.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm guessing bodyguard and.
Yeah, I'm the bodyguard.
I just
And
kind
I'm
of
his
looks to
courtesan.
Zolf. Right. Chessington just sort of gives this, looks up, looks down, and you get this really low sort of.
You okay, sir?
Yeah, it's funny. You've got funny friends.
I do. Well, you know, Chessington, yes.
I think they're speaking upper class.
So the carriage starts pulling up through the driveway, and honestly, it feels a bit arbitrary to have gotten in the carriage because it's about 30 feet. And the length of the conversation that we've had is the time it's taken for the queue to move up and then the carriage to open on the front steps. It would have been faster to just walk
It
in.
is the proper way to arrive. Those of us who grew up in luxury will understand these things.
So someone opens the door for you, one of the guards, who's looking at Zolf with a bit of a suspicious glance.
I'll, as I get out, just pop my hand on his shoulder as I kind of clamber out, balancing myself. Thanks.
I comment to Zolf, I don't know why these posh people bother with carriages. That wasn't very comfortable.
The doors are open and there's steps leading up. Wellington and Chessington sort of talking amongst themselves, pulling in. They're being incredibly amiable to all of you, by the way. They've just decided that friends of Bertie, right, that's fine. Pull you into a large salon, even though it's quite brightly lit outside. You can see there's a few gas lamps just to really give it a big airy feel. And looking off to the right, you see what looks like a music hall. So large high ceilings, some gilding. There's a stage, and there is a sort of grand piano off to one side on the stage, and there's lots of rows of seating. There's a couple of people sat, but it's clear that it's not time to be sat yet. And then off to the left, you can see into what looks like a drawing room. Big fireplace, big mantelpiece, hardwoods, big soft carpet, stuff like that. You can still hear the murmur of the crowd outside, but it's now being overlaid by the murmur of sort of polite society. Clinking of glasses, that kind of thing. It looks like they've basically got a sort of standing, a few people going around with hors d'oeuvres and that into the drawing room on the left.
I snatch as many hors d'oeuvres as I can.
So you head into the drawing room.
Yeah.
Can I have a bit of a look around and see if there's like faces I recognise with knowledge and ability?
Yeah, I'll give you one roll for all of it.
12 plus 7 is 19.
19? Okay, yeah, you recognise a lot of them, and you recognise some of them that you think you should recognise without, knowing by face straight away. You notice there's Dr. William Colgate, who is sort of, he stood there, he seems to be making a point of wearing his doctor's garbs as a sign of office, but he's having a conversation with Byron. Byron obviously being characteristically quite loud, and he's got a bit of a crowd around him. Also, you see... Actually, you know what? Give me a perception check, Hamid.
1
You are blowing hot and cold.
plus 6.
Okay, never mind then. You don't see the thing that's really interesting and exciting. But yeah, there's a large number of them. You can spot that there's a lot of functionaries. There's a few sort of celebrities like Byron and so on. You specifically, Bertie, also notice a pair of gnomes standing off in a corner wearing very, very black, very, very sharp suits. Both of them appear to be identical twins and holding briefcases. And they just sort of look over, see you, raise an eyebrow, give a polite little nod, and then sort of continue to survey the room.
So I just want to quickly mention that for anyone who's listening, Bryn did just put that dice in the naughty corner.
That's a new one. Natural ones won't be tolerated by Bryn.
I'm a trained mathematician, and I understand statistics. I would never do something so frivolous. I took those actions for entirely unrelated reasons.
You did just roll a critical fail on a perception check. It's fine for you to make silly decisions.
I presume you don't notice that there's anyone in here at all.
Is this a room?
There's just an awkward moment where, just as you sort of go on tiptoes to survey the room, everyone being taller than you, a waiter proceeds to walk across and not notice you and stand directly in front of you, just completely blocking your view for that moment. Wellington and Chessington basically patting you on the back and so on, start pulling Bertie specifically into a crowd of, just over half of them, but you know them all by name. They're the old lot.
Yeah.
They're very much sort of parental friends, people who came round being like, if you ever need anything, you always know who to ask, blah, 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 blah. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to start making friends. I know how to move in these circles. I've mixed with people like this before. I don't know any of them specifically, but I'm just going to start chatting, and I'll drop my my family name into conversation, just because they'll know people who know people who, and
Yeah.
I'm working the room. I'm a playboy.
It's Hamid's thing.
Yeah.
Zolf?
I will actually be sort of walking the perimeter and just looking out for anything and actually doing the job.
I'm going to follow him and try and sort of work out what my job is by watching you do it. But meanwhile, I am sneak of handing.
Sleight of handing. Sneak of handing.
And as many hors d'oeuvres as I can. Is kind of distracting myself from
filling
all
your
of
boots.
the open pockets everywhere.
Give me a roll on the sleight of hand.
14 plus.
You've got a pretty
7.
decent modifier, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
21.
there's a few cases going round of people reaching for hors d'oeuvres that they were sure they had in their hand.
Yeah.
Lots of biting down on sort of empty handfuls.
It's just I can't help myself.
So just role playing a bit with Bertie and the old crowd. Wellington, but honestly, Bertie, I mean, what fancy dress? I mean, it was an RSVP. It wasn't an RSVP with armour. Am I right?
No, You are quite right. No, well, I'm off travelling, you see. Going adventuring.
I think, Chessington, one of your sons went adventuring.
Oh, I understand Chessington's son had a whole world of adventures.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, that's the worst pun I've ever heard. Okay, for anyone who doesn't understand, that is a British theme park.
Don't I explain?
Oh, no, I have to, but
it
my
was
God.
beautiful.
It was something.
Beautiful.
No.
It was something.
A transcendent moment of glory. I think we're just going to have to stop there. We're never going to top that. End of campaign.
Well, that was the entirety of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Where was I? It was Wellington. Yeah. It's an interesting phase. I have to admit, though, I'm sure you'll grow out of it. I mean, you're getting a bit old for adventuring, aren't you? I mean,
oh, I don't know. Grand family tradition. Thought best to keep it going.
Oh yes, you do. You had that elderly old ancestor of yours. What was his name? I forget. The crazy one.
Oh, he certainly had his moments. That time that he thought he was a bat that was also a hawk and a dog.
Yeah, saved lots of people, I remember.
He did, yes, largely accidentally, but never mind, can't have everything.
Well, treading in family footsteps is never a bad thing, am I right?
Not quite so. Tradition. No.
One of the sort of servants who were standing in the hallway sort of steps in and goes, ladies and gentlemen, if you could make your way through to the music hall, we will be beginning the presentation imminently. Drinks can be taken. He sort of steps aside and the crowd slowly begin to drift in towards the music hall. What do you guys do?
Hang back, let people go in, sort of keep an eye out for anyone who's looking shifty or suspicious.
I flawlessly slide my way to the front so I'm able to see.
I'm gonna grant you that being both incredibly sort of diplomatic and a halfling. People would just be interesting to see you. There's not many halflings, a few gnomes, but Sasha?
I'm sticking with what I was doing, just trying to learn my job off Zolf. Yeah, it's kind of handy having someone having your back when you're in a...
I've more or less abandoned the idea of doing any security guarding.
I was going to say, Bertie doesn't get the choice.
No.
There are way too many people.
Wafting in, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so you head in, presumably take seats.
Stand at the back.
Yeah, we'll stand at the back.
You're standing at the back? Okay,
Yeah,
so we've got Zolf and Sasha standing at the back. We've got Bertie, presumably sort of in the middle of the crowd somewhere, sort of sat with a big crowd. And yeah, Hamid, I'll give you a front row seat. That's fine.
Excellent.
Do you take your helmet off? Or are there some very annoying people sitting behind you going... I can't really see.
No, I definitely don't take my helmet off. I'm there to be seen.
It's like having Marge Simpson sat in front of you.
Yeah.
I'll start chatting in a very friendly way with whoever's sitting next to me.
The double doors at the back close gently, and then there is a sort of dimming of the gas lights. You see that the curtains have been pulled across all of the windows.
Can I just roughly where in the crowd me and my cluster of aristos
So
are, please?
I'll just draw this on a table so that you can see. There is Central Avenue, where there's no seats, rows of seats. Hamid sort of being up towards the very, very front. We've got... I'll draw this a bit more accurately in a moment. I've got Bertie sort of in the middle, but with access to the Central Avenue.
Yeah.
So we've got Chessington and Wellington next to him. And then we've got Sasha and Zolf sort of flanking that Central Avenue at the back. And there is a brief sort of interlude from the piano at the side. And then out steps a man that you all recognise as Lord Edison, inventor of the lightning rail and a lot of technology that you all engage with on a daily basis, and potentially the most renowned genius and scientist in the world.
I start a polite applause.
Everyone follows. And we'll end it there. We'll pick this up again next week. So, thanks for listening, everyone, and we hope you tune in again soon. So that's bye from me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye all. Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast distributed by rustyquill.com and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial International License. Today's episode was recorded and produced by Alexander J. Newall. To comment on episodes, make donations, and view links, images, videos, and show notes, visit rustyquill.com. Rate and review us on iTunes. Visit us on Facebook. Tweet us on Twitter at The Rusty Quill, or email us at mail@rustyquill.com. Thanks for listening.